Hey guys, Unclejona here, back with another beer review. And I know it is summertime. My goodness, it is summertime, but I'm going to do another dark beer. And I'm going to do this one. Whoops, if it's going to focus, there we go. The Powerhouse Porter by Sambrooks Brewery. Handcrafted London Porter at 4.9, let's say 5. IBUs, it's given me lots of info on this can. IBUs at 35. The hops are Boudica, Challenger, Fuggles and Goldings, some of my absolute favourite hops. And I've got a little bit of a connection with this bad boy. Has it got anything else? It's got a little bit of wheat in it. Because this beer is called Powerhouse Porter. And the Powerhouse bit comes from their location, which is very close to the old Battersea Power Station, which is kind of, some of the towers are still there, but they're slowly converting it into flats. And that power station used to power most of London in its day. It was absolutely ridiculous behemoth of a place. The other thing about Battersea is the cat and dog home, which is a really cool place. And if you're looking for a pet, please don't go to breeders. Go and get a rescue. That is definitely the way forward. Although, weirdly, I looked up these guys, the brewery address, because I didn't live that far from there. I've lived in that part of London. And they're actually in Wandsworth, but on the far side. And I lived not very far away from there. I lived in Southfields, but I also lived in Roehampton, and I lived in Wandsworth, just off the West Hill. Wow. So this is a porter, but you could easily say, so about the lighting here, you could easily say that is a dark red ale. I know some porters are not sort of dark, they're chestnut or amber coloured. Oh, we're getting that lovely dark chocolate. As you can see, I'm in my Canterbury little tasting glass again. Headwise, not too much. I would say to start with half a finger, but it has fastly disappeared. This, if I did not know, I would say this was like an ESB, or maybe just a straight bitter, as we call them over here in the UK. I'm a bit old these days, and yeah, bitters, I guess, are what Americans would call pale ales. Although just the way people describe beer, it just completely blows my mind these days, because all the kind of traditional tropes and things have changed, and beers that used to be a certain style have now changed. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, cheers and beers. Oh, despite having despite having quite a few different hops in there, I suspect this one is more of a description of the malts. Getting that roasted kind of thing going on, getting that fruit cake or that Christmas cake thing. Not too much fruit, but a little bit of those classic kind of fruits. There is a bit of bitterness there, which is quite nice, but not massively so. And I'm not surprised. 35 IBUs is not that strong, but it is enough to give you a bit of bitterness. Yeah, not too roasty, but it's kind of giving that chocolatey kind of maybe a mild coffee. This is not an espresso coffee. This is a kind of roasted, kind of mild coffee. With I don't know if you can have like coffee with kind of fruit in it. I'm sure certain types of coffee does. Oh, mm, that is nice. It's coffee and cake together. You have a nice slice. You know, over here you get tea cakes. I don't know if you get those in America or Australia or wherever. We have tea cakes, which tends to be this sort of small square, really sort of dense kind of cake. And you slice it off these squares. It looks like a little, very small slice of bread. And then what do you put on tea cakes? Well, it depends what part of the country you're in, but you can spread butter on it if you want. That is kind of what this beer is like. Um, Tends to be more of a northern thing, to be perfectly honest. This is very much a London, it's called a London Porter, mainly due to, in the olden days, well, two things. The Porter style, let's put that down, suited the London water. And in fact, the Kentish water is reasonably hard, and again, pretty good for doing darker beers. There we go. How's that? Try and get one of those for the front of this video. Yeah, the other thing is for this beer was brewed for the porters for the London hotels. So porters used to go to the railway station or go to the horse and cart or whatever and bring all of your luggage, massive suitcases. Sometimes, you know, if you'd just been on holiday on a ship or something, you might even have a crate or a big case, a tea case or something like that. How those people in the old days used to travel, ridiculous. There's also, I'm getting a little bit of kind of spice as well in this. There is no additions of spice in here, but I'm getting sort of maybe a touch of vanilla, maybe a touch of kind of allspice, um, but very small, very much in the background. Um, but yeah, this type of beer, it is not all about the hops at all, which is weird because it's got two of my favourite hops, Fuggles and Goldings, in here. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, it has got a little bit of that residual sweetness as well, which is, I guess, adds to my cake or tea cake, as I said, kind of observation of this beer. Little bit of sweetness there, little bit of bitterness. Very nicely balanced, actually. Not 100% sure I would call it a porter, though, to be honest. One, because of the colour. As you can see, it is not dark at all. It's very light. And the strength as well. Porters tended to be a little bit stronger. A shade under 5%. Not really a porter in my book. I totally agree that because of the way in the UK they work out the customs, the laws for governing how much tax we pay on our alcohol, and like everything else, Jesus, the UK is fucking riddled with tax. Like people pay tax on like everything. Um, I can't remember where they are at the moment, but there are certain levels um, where the tax kind of changes. So some beers that used to be 6% are now under 5%. Um, Very weird system we've got here. I should really look it up because I haven't done so for a while. and I believe 2.8%, which is incredibly low, is one of those one of those places where if it's 2.8, you pay a lower tax rate than if it was 3%. Weird. So by making a 2.8% beer, you're saving money on your tax, on your customs. Ooh. Bit of lacing on the glass there, which is cool. In fact, I heard a thing the other day with regards to a lighter beer. In America, there are some states in America where if you have a lighter beer, like say 3%, I can't remember exactly what the ABV is, you can drink that beer at 18. Whereas we mostly know that the age for drinking in the majority of America is 21. But in certain places you can buy beer, but it has to be under 3%, say. I'm just picking that figure out of my head. Yeah, which is a bit random, don't you think? Anyway, this is why you guys have tuned in, listening to Uncle Jonah talking complete nonsense. It's all true, but it's a bit random. Please click like, please click subscribe, flick my bell, and you'll never miss another video. This has been Uncle Jonah drinking beers, including the Powerhouse Porter today, so you guys don't have to. We'll see you real soon for more beer, more Uncle Jonah wrongness, and more reviews. Take care, guys.